There was once a blissful time where I exclusively played single-player games. I'd finish the story and move on to the next one. Then I started making friends who also liked games, so I discovered online multiplayer games. And so began the slippery slope down the live service rabbit hole for me. Because not long after that, I tried Path of Exile, which quickly became my quarterly obsession. And then I discovered Hoyoverse games, and let's just say it's been over for me ever since. Now, the reason my love for live service games is becoming a problem is because there are so many amazing single-player games I really want to play. But my commitment to my friends and the ongoing stories of Hoyo games makes that feel almost impossible. If you aren't like me, you're probably thinking, "But Amy, it's easy, just stop playing. The FOMO can't hurt you." Well, that is exactly the problem that folks like me will understand deeply. It isn't the FOMO of limited time skins or rewards that keeps me coming back daily, weekly, or monthly to live service games. It's the stories and experiences that I crave, and the ongoing nature of the games means that there is effectively an endless supply of content. I'll come back to that thought about endless content in a sec, but first, let's quickly talk about my first love, single-player games. One of my favourite single-player franchises is the Dragon Age series. I have been waiting 10 years for a new entry in that video game world. Now, of course, in the meantime, I have perused the art books, read all of the novels, and watched the animated series, but that hasn't satiated my desperate need for more over the past 10 years. Instead of being able to enjoy more Dragon Age in that time, I've had to fill that void with other games, and as we know, that led me to discover Hoyo games, and for this particular analogy, I will use Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact's story has been drip-feeding us intriguing lore that is impactful and tells me more about the world it's set in every 6 weeks. And I only started playing recently, so there's been a lot of content for me to catch up on because I love the story it's telling. Yes, my regular playtime ends up being a little bit padded out because of the daily reward content, but for the most part, my time in-game is spent chipping away at 4 years worth of game, while concurrently experiencing the stories of their limited time expansions in real time. So basically, I'm still catching up on Genshin and haven't reached a point where I'm ready to put it down just yet. In my head, it would be like leaving a single-player game with a great story that I was really into partway finished. When I finally come to the place I have decided on in my head where I'm happy to put it on hold for a few weeks, I absolutely will. But for now, I'm happy taking my time to indulge Genshin's massive and ever-expanding world until I can finally dive back into Thedas and the comfort of Dragon Age. Now, do I think that Dragon Age should be a live service game with endless content like Genshin Impact? Hell no! It's perfect the way that it is because it lets me revel in its majesty and enjoy every moment that it offers. And because I love Genshin Impact's style of storytelling, do I think that all games should last forever? Also no. But there is something so wonderful I find about stories that take years in real time to tell. Whether that's a long-running TV series, drawn-out novel sequels, or seemingly never-ending anime series. There is absolutely a place in my heart for both never-ending and one-and-done entertainment. But that still doesn't mean that loving live service games isn't hard. With all of that said, the reason I wanted to make this video is because I am staring down the barrel of some of my favourite games releasing big new titles at the same time that some of my favourite live service games are dropping juicy lore patches, and I don't know how I'm going to consume all that gamey goodness. So I came here to lament a pain I doubt I am alone in experiencing. Path of Exile 2, Dragon Age Veilguard, Genshin Impact wrapping its latest Archon arc, and of course making time for the squad to hang out in whatever the multiplayer game of the moment is. It's a really big deal for me. Priorities are going to shift, sleep will be sacrificed, but honestly I think it's worth it. Because the only reason I think being a live service gamer is hard is because I have so much love for nearly everything I play. And how lucky am I to find so much happiness in all of these games? To resonate with their characters, to be entranced by their masterful storytelling, to be entertained by their fun gameplay loops, to be able to enjoy them with my friends from around the country and the world. That is pretty special if you asked me. Would my life be easier without live service games? Probably. But I do think it would be far less fun.